Alright, welcome back to another video. We are gonna be continuing the For Honor combat tutorial series, and let's start by showing you what I got so far. So what we have is our character. We can run around, we can target our enemy, and depending on where we drag our mouse we get different stances, as you can see. I switched out the animations a little bit, so I have this one is new and this one is new. I think they look a little bit better than the previous ones that I had. And this one I made myself, that's why it looks a little bit shitty. And this one is from a pack, that's why it looks good. I'm not an animator. I'm gonna modify this one as well to make it look a little bit better, just because when we do the AI we want to be able to distinguish the attacks fairly easy. We can also attack our enemy, and as you can see, when we attack, the HP gets reduced. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty much what we have so far. Before we continue with like the light attacks and the parrying and things like that, I think we should start doing the AI and the combat, AI combat basically, just so we have someone to practice on, because if we don't have anyone attacking us, it's gonna be hard to test the parrying function and things like that. So anyway, yeah, let's jump into it. So AI, master AI. In your master AI, first add a component called pawn sensing, is what it's called, I believe. Pawn sensing, great. And I just realized you can't see my mouse. When I look at the other screen, I see that you can't see my mouse. I wonder if it's like that in the video as well. It's horrible in that case. Sorry about that. I need to fix that. Has it always been like that? Really weird if it has. Yeah, anyway, I'll look into that. Select pawn sensing. On the bottom right you have on see pawn. Click the plus just to make sure it's working. Print string. Drag from pawn so we can get the pawn name. So basically what the on pawn sensing does, it creates vision for your AI. Basically you can change the values here. Specifically the peripheral vision angle is the nicest one, I think, because maybe you don't want your AI to be able to look straight 90 degrees. Something like that is good, I think. Let's see if he reacts. Yep, there we go. When I come in front of him, he says third person player character, and also you can see it's blinking. It's because it's updating every 0.5 seconds. If you want to change that, you can do it in this variable here, sensing interval as well. 0.5 seconds is fine for me. So yeah. Go back into the event graph, copy this. I'm gonna delete it because I already have one actually called AI graph. And paste. Here we go. Just delete that. So what we want to do now is, when we see a pawn, we want to first cast to from the pawn, cast to player third person character, just to make sure that it's a player character. And from there we are gonna do AI move to. And for that to work, we also need a nav mesh bounce volume. So on the top left, nav mesh bounce volume, drag it into the scene. And basically what a nav mesh bounce volume does is that it creates an area for your AI classes to actually walk on, so that they know what's up, down, and hills and walls and things like that. So let me show you. If we just extend it further and also upwards, and then press P, There we go. So basically what P does, if you press P, it's the shortcut to show the nub mesh bounce. So as you can see here, the AI class won't be able to move outside of these green lines that you can see here, but it can move up the steer. Cool. Press P again to remove it. I have two ones, I think. Yep. I'm just gonna see, did it work? Yeah, there we go. And it also creates points. So this node, AI move to, doesn't work without a nub mesh because, yeah, it just doesn't deal with it. When we see the player, we want to decide which pawn is moving, and the pawn that is moving is gonna be itself. And the target actor is gonna be the player third-person character that we just saw. I'm not sure we actually need to specify a destination. Let's check. We don't need to specify a destination, so that's sweet. And he is following us, which is pretty neat. And he went straight to that one. Okay, cool. Also, he's not moving. That's because we select your mesh. You can see that we still have the third-person animation blueprint from the player. And in this one, we are casting at the begin play. We are casting to our player third-person character. That's no good. What we need to do is we need to switch this one to our master AI animation blueprint, which I created 1 or 2 videos before. And I think I already did this. I might have done this between videos, but the only thing I've done here is basically swap out all the references to player and do them as owner instead. So instead of casting to the master to the player character, we cast the master AI, and we promote this one to owner. And then instead of the player, we do the owner. Instead of the player, we do the owner, and instead of player, we do the owner. So now he should move even with this one, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, now you can see he's actually moving, so that's good. He's running around. You can also see he lost his HP. That is probably because I'm doing something before we are setting begin play. Yeah. So on begin play, we are actually casting to our player character, but that's always gonna fail in the master AI. So it goes here, and which connects to nothing. So we never actually set up the health bar. So we should do the same thing here as well. Master cast to master AI. And promote variable. Oh, not this one. Oh, sorry. How was it? Set animation blueprint. Okay, now, okay, not the master AI. Cast to what's it called? AnimBP. Master enemy AnimBP. It's super stupid of me to have called them 2 different things. So this is master enemy and this is master AI. That's a horrible mistake, and it should never ever be done, because it creates a lot of confusion. So stop with that immediately if you did the same thing as I did, and choose one, because that's horrible, completely horrible. Promote this one instead to a variable, and instead of animation blueprint, oh, actually you can set the old one, you don't need to promote this one. Oh, okay, apparently can't. Promote a variable, call it animation BP, and delete the old one, and delete this one, and perfect. And now this cast will not fail which means we will go on to actually set our health bar. Woo! Everything's working, cool. Only 10 minutes in, and I already fixed all the problems. Now we can actually get to the video. I'm trying to keep them short, but it doesn't happen. The last one was like an hour long, which is way too long in my opinion. I'm gonna try to keep them shorter. So now, okay, our AI is actually following us. That's good. That's one step closer. What we want to do is let's see what happens if we do like this. On success, set combat mode to true. Ah, do you see? He actually, when he got closer. Cool. Okay, so do we have a function for this? And go into your player character, and so when we do the combat mode here, where is it? Here. So basically just copy everything here. 250. Just gonna close something's done. My roommate just came home. Flatmate, or whatever you call it. Sorry if he's making a lot of noise.
What's up, nerds?
There we go. So yeah, 250 s_equip. So when we get to the player, we're gonna do the s_equip, and then let's see what happens if we do a server attack. I just want to see if it actually works. Okay, it's updating too frequently, so that's an easy fix. Create two variables here. We are gonna promote this one, call it target, and we are also gonna create a bool called has target. So if we don't have a target, we are gonna cast to the player and set the target, and we are gonna set the target to has target to true, which means we will not update it. And after we have attacked, we're gonna set target back to false. Let's just see if that works. I think it's because the acceptance radius might be too small. Let's do something like 150. Why is he? Okay, because he doesn't know what animations to play. Because we are not in a specific state. Bum, bum, bum. player states. Set player states. Now we are actually in our state. Actually, shouldn't this be? It should actually be up already. I think maybe I need to set combat mode to true as well, because attacking doesn't work unless I'm in combat mode. Okay, so when we reach the player, we enter combat mode. Okay, so he actually gets... I'm not sure what he's doing, to be honest. I just want to see what happens if I don't do that. Why is he acting crazy? Just trying some things out here. Well, it is a root motion server attack. I feel like it's because of this. But the guard is up. Just kind of see what happens if I do like this. Okay, I think I got the problem. Maybe. Yep. Okay, because it doesn't have the slot, so it can't actually do the attack. So in your master enemy animation blueprint, go into your animation graph and add its default slot, because this is where animation montages are played. So he actually couldn't. He did the attack, that's why he moved forward, but it didn't show. There you go. A quick one. Okay. My flatmate is singing in the shower. I'm not sure you can hear it. Okay, cool. Let's see. Bam. Did you see? So, server attack, delay for like 1 second, and then set has target back to 0. This delay is because we can't get, since we're doing this in another function, we can't really get the return value. We could promote it to a variable, but I think 1 second is fine for now. So this means that he should attack us, and now afterwards he's gonna follow us again. And whenever he sees us, basically he's gonna be attacking. Yeah. And as you can see now, it's because of the combat mode. We set his control rotation to yaw, we don't actually need to do that in the AI character because we will force his strafe later anyway, because as you can see, he's not really. So yeah. I hope that's not too distracting. Okay, so what we do here is we set combat mode to false. Dun 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 dun. And then okay, I didn't actually set the combat mode, but I'm not sure why he's not rotating towards us. It doesn't really matter, we're gonna bypass that anyway, but it's still a little bit annoying. Okay, so he actually can rotate, so that's good. So yeah, seems to be working. Okay. This is all like depending a lot on how you want to customize and create your AI. But I'm just doing a easy function to follow here basically, because this is gonna be the same for every AI, how we find the player and what we do when we find the player basically. Then we can customize the attacks and things for the different child AIs. Anyway, I don't actually need this. I need this since I do it here anyway. And this one is scored up by default, so I don't need that as well. Just makes it a little bit more annoying to follow. Server attack. Then after the delay, we are gonna be checking branch. We're gonna get our target. We're gonna get self. And we're gonna check if the distance from ourself to our target is greater than 250. We are going to stop combat mode. Maybe not 250. Let's do 300. We're going to stop combat mode. And we're going to set as no target. But if it's false, which means that it's less, so this way we can create a new target. But if it's less, we are going to return to AI move 2 over here and keep attacking. Which means we will try to move toward that one as well as again. So attack. It should automatically follow me, but he didn't. No, it's because it's less, yeah. I just want to see one more time. So yeah, it seems to be working. And now we go to that one instead. and it keeps attacking him because he's in range. Cool. And there's one more thing we want to do. Going to just need to check one thing. I don't remember how I did it. So I'm just gonna copy. So there's one more thing we want to do as well. I don't recommend to do this on the event tick, but I'm doing it anyway. I'll probably fix that later. If we have a target, we are gonna get the location to ourselves, to the target. We're gonna find the lookat rotation, and we're gonna create a new rotation. And this is also if has target is true. So only when we have a target, we are gonna be forced turning towards our target. So as you can see, he's attacking, and he's turning towards us when he is attacking. So now we are gonna be, in the next video, I think, applying damage and start with the block function. Oh look, he's even walking in on this. That's actually nice. He should not, because he should actually exit combat mode, but apparently not. So yeah, I think that's fine for now. A little bit shorter video this time, which is nice. I think the last one became way too long. Only 25 minutes. So as always, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Good night.